All right. So,
Yo,
Mark,
yeah.
that business idea we were talking of, do you think my business should be brick and mortar or e-commerce based?
All right. So honestly, like with that, it depends. If you can't sell your product online, then it should be brick and mortar. But after all, like nowadays, you can literally sell everything online, and it's more convenient for people. Like, let's have a look at furniture stores, right? A lot of people like to go in store, test out their furniture, this, that. So that kind of like shops, that's good for that stuff. For brick and mortar, this, that, you know what I mean? Also, when it comes to like brick and mortar, people like to go in and shop and stuff like that. So that the advantage of having a brick and mortar is that it builds customer loyalty, and we spoke about that in the previous episode. Customer loyalty is important because it builds relationships with the customer that makes them want to come back to the brand. And with online, you can't really build that customer loyalty. Well, you can, but it's not going to be the emotional side of it. You know what I mean? Also, another factor is that when you're running a brick and mortar, you got to know that you have a lot of expenses. You have employees. You got to put time into hiring them. You got to pay bills, rents, all that stuff. Something goes wrong in your store, got to call someone up to come and fix it. So if you're starting a brick and mortar, you gotta say that, like, you gotta know that, okay, I have upfront costs, I can afford them, and I can do it, right? And if you don't, then an e-commerce store is the perfect example for that. It's a perfect thing you can start, because with an e-commerce, no upfront costs. All you have is literally your advertisement cost is that, and if you're not doing paid advertisements, you literally can go organically. Like, we grew shisha at your door organically. Another thing is that the pros and cons of like brick and mortar just are not the same as thing, bro. Like, what do you call it? An e-commerce. E-commerce is more better, because nowadays people, they want to go on their phone and shop fast, right? They don't want to be they don't want to waste time, get in your car, go to the shop, this, that. Just time convenience, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Also, the thing is, within a brick and mortar, people will find out about your store when you open. So say, for example, you're at a shopping location. As soon as you open, people are going to know about it. But the negative about that is having your shop at a brick and mortar is that food traffic, right? You don't know how many people are going to be coming to your store. Whereas if it's an e-commerce, then look at it this way: you're worldwide. Everyone knows about your store. It's the .com or whatever it is, your thing, right? People are going to come to your store that way. Again, customers, again, with a brick and mortar, something that's convenient for you would be customer returns. Customers will come to your shop, return, hassle free. But when it comes to e-commerce, there's a lot to do with emails, replying, this, that, sorting it out, paying shipping costs for returns, is that. Sometimes that can be a hassle, but again, right? For me, I'd say, what do you call it? An e-commerce, still the advantages of e-commerce outweigh the advantages of brick and mortar. Also, um, shipping can be expensive if you're starting out as an e-commerce brand, because when you first start out, you're not putting out hundreds of orders a day, right? So shipping for single orders will be expensive. But if you're doing drop shipping, then you don't have to deal with any of that. You got your drop shippers doing that for you. But if you're a brand who has their whole like inventory in their houses, that you're taking orders to the post office and shipping them, that's going to be expensive. But
Yeah.
once you start to get those bulk orders, then shipping costs are going to go down for you. Now, with e-commerce, like I said before, you can sell worldwide. Brick and mortar, you're limited to just like the people that are there for you, like there, you know what I mean? And also look at it this way, right? If you have an online store, you can always go brick and mortar. Or if you have a brick and mortar, you can always go online. Like, look at Perth Shoe Plug. He had an online store, right? And now he's running a brick and mortar as well as an online. So you can do both. Like, if you're running an online, you can put it into a brick and mortar, and that way you're building brand awareness. More people are going to know about your brand. Is that people that didn't know about it, people that normally just do shopping in store rather than online. And just to sum it up, I'll say, for me personally, I'd go e-commerce, because the costs are low, not upfront, and you can just reach a wider, more audience. And yeah, thanks.